Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha Archuleta. Let's go ahead and get into these stories. So this is relationships and like ending and disagreements. So the first one is, am I the asshole for ending a relationship because she wants full details of my wealth after 2 months of being together? That is insane in its own. 2 months? Like, she couldn't even wait like 6. This is under the advice needed category. A couple of my friends thought that I acted wrongly here. I'm curious what other people think. I, 40 male, just ended a 2-month relationship with my now ex, 39 female. I'll call her ex. I ended it because she pestered me to know about my finances, despite me saying that I wasn't comfortable letting her know something like that so early. Both of us were divorced once already, and we were both the person who asked for the divorce. Neither divorce was terrible. We both divorced for emotional differences. I try to keep my finances on the down low for obvious reasons. I've lost a few friends and had to break contact with more than one family member due to money. People who asked for help and blew it. But this is pretty easy to do because I don't live lavishly. I ride a bike most of the time, and I live in a relatively modest house. However, I don't work currently, aside from some volunteer work, so that's the one thing that stands out. I made some really good, lucky financial choices early in my life. I bought a house at 17 with money I saved from a young age. My dad arranged the mortgage under his name, but I paid everything and took over the mortgage when I was old enough. And I worked hard to pay off the mortgage by the time I was 24. Long story short, this gave me a serious advantage with finances in my 20s, and I made a lot of investments, some of which paid off big time in the past few years. Crypto. Today, I don't work, but I'm not decided on being retired. I have some projects that I'm thinking of turning into a business. When X and I met, finances weren't discussed at all, and she seemed really down to earth. She even said a few times that money doesn't matter to her. I tried my best to keep my finances hidden from her because I didn't want to have any inaccurate sense of her feelings for me. After being together for about 3 weeks, the subject of my finances came up because of the fact that I don't work. I told her about my young home ownership and having my mortgage paid off and that I have enough money to not work, but I didn't say anything else. From that point, she seemed very fixated on finances and her personality started changing. She constantly talked about lavish things she wanted to do, like expensive trips, etc. And most of all, she did not give up on the questions about my finances. This continued consistently, and she would ask me specifically how much money I had and how much I had invested, etc. It almost became an argument once. She raised her voice about it and quickly cooled herself off about it and changed the subject. I wrongly told myself that cooling herself off like that was a good sign of maturity. Maybe it was. Each time she asked about it, I set a clear boundary by saying that I didn't think we were at a stage of our relationship where we should ask each other things like that. She would agree and then slowly weasel her way back into the topic by the next time we saw each other. We weren't dating heavily. I would say we're not teenagers who spend every waking moment together. We saw each other maybe 2 to 3 times per week, and she would spend the night occasionally, and we spent 2 entire weekends together. Maybe that's serious, but I don't think so, and we hadn't yet ever discussed moving in together or much less marriage. So we weren't at a stage where I felt it was appropriate for us to ask each other things like that, especially when I had given her what I would consider to be enough information. Turn it around on her. Ask her, how much do you make? Where do you work? How much are they paying you per hour? Turn that around on her and see what she says. Or ask her, why do you owe debt? because I ain't paying it. Anyways, I broke things off this past weekend and it didn't go well. She was very emotional about it, which I didn't expect considering the fact that I thought the relationship wasn't very far along. The only point I made in the breakup was that I felt like my privacy was being invaded because we had not reached any kind of relationship milestone that I would consider talking about things like finances. I told her that I could understand if we were talking about moving in together, she might want to know how financially secure I was. I talked to a few of my friends last night about the breakup. They had all met her once and they liked her. Three of my friends agreed that I acted immaturely and that I shouldn't have been so secretive. One of my friends said it's unfair to hide something like that because everyone else at least has a ballpark idea of how much money someone makes as soon as they know what kind of job they have, and she didn't have information like that, which is unfair to her. I didn't agree with this because it's foolish to make assumptions like that, combined with the fact that she said multiple times that money didn't matter to her. I'm curious to hear what other people think about this. So, I don't think you're in the wrong. You guys had only been talking, more or less, not even really dating, but just talking for 2 months. Three weeks when she actually started asking. And I just don't think that that is any of her business because, like you said, you guys weren't talking seriously about moving in together or having a future because both of you had been divorced before. So it seems like you were just testing the waters to see if you really wanted to get into something serious again. She kind of sounds like she might be in some serious financial problems, which is her problem, but she might be trying to make it your problem as well and try to see if you would help her out of those situations. Because if you have enough money to stay home, she may think that you have enough money to take care of her to where she doesn't have to work or to pay off her debt on top of that. Unfortunately, it kind of sounds like she was trying to figure out what you were like first. So being the whole down to earth, money's not a problem for me. I don't really care how much you make. And then turning around and asking constantly, how much do you make? How much do you make? How much do you make? It sounds like she might have been playing you to find out if she could be a gold digger off of you. And sometimes that's how manipulative, narcissistic people act. So, unfortunately, it sounds like she may be one of those people. I hope that helped. Good thing you dumped her before it got too much worse and she started trying to control your finances. Okay, on to the next one. Am I the asshole, 30 male, for ending things with 36 female girlfriend? We have been dating for 4 months now. Light bickering about trivial stuff, but everything is good. We agreed to be exclusive a month in, and we talk every day for most of the day and hang out 2 to 4 times a week. I always had and vocalized my issue regarding dudes sliding in her DM and her responding to them, creating small talk. I don't care about her actual friends hitting her up and them talking, but when a random or mutual friend dude is sending heart eyes and complimenting on every story or post of her, we all know the intentions. So in my eyes, why even entertain the guy when you're happy in a relationship like she says she is? She always showed me the convo if I asked, and she usually just ignores them when they directly ask her out, but continues the convo like they never asked. So the other night, she was showing me a Snapchat of her friend, and she accidentally swiped into her chats. She physically sprawled out of bed, doing everything in her might to swipe away from the chats and not let me see anything. Like any boyfriend, I wanted an explanation for that reaction because it was very clear. She denied it for 40 minutes, saying it was nothing. tried every manipulation tactic in the book to avoid answering. Eventually, she said, "No, you will get mad." Then, "It was just guys hitting me up. I didn't answer them." Me still pressing the issue, and another 10 minutes go by. "Okay, I was answering back, but you can't see it. You will end it." So it was a classic slow roll of the truth coming out after asking so many times. She never showed me, but she read it off to me over the phone the next day. They were talking for 2 weeks on and off, just small talk, getting to know each other. Every morning he would say, "Good morning, beautiful. Let me see your face/outfit," and she would gladly do it. I think it is a problem for a girl in a relationship to be willingly sending pictures of herself when a random dude requests it. Y'all y'all are supposed to be only being committed to each other right now. You said 1 month in that's what happened. So she's cheating on you. Whether it be actually emotional or physical, she could just be playing with these guys. But because it is something y'all agreed on, this is considered cheating. This is not consensual at all. Of course, that is what she told me. I did not see anything with my eyes. I explained how this would be a much smaller issue if you opened up and admitted fault right when I asked you, rather than 45 minutes of denying anything happened. And if it was so innocent, like she claims, why was it a big deal to show me? End all uncertainty when she had a crazy reaction to accidentally swiping on her chats. The hoops I had to go through to get an answer broke a lot of trust. Just looking for opinions on this situation from all sides. I have not talked to anyone else while in this relationship with her. I do not play that. She is the one who asked for exclusivity at first, and I had no problem doing it. I didn't think I would be going through a situation like this given our age. Y'all are both in your 30s, I believe, is what I read at the beginning. Yes, you guys are both in your 30s. She is actually older than you, and she is acting like a high schooler hopping from boy to boy. She is entertaining others. She, like you said, she requested the exclusivity. It sounds like she wanted you to be exclusive to her, but she could still talk to whoever she wanted. It's a good thing you dumped her. I don't believe she's worth the time any more than what you gave her. I don't know how you are as a person, but nobody deserves to be cheated on like that or anything. She could have been going to these guys and saying that you were a horrible partner and just going for attention. So either she is an attention or she's just playing with these guys for entertainment, and both of those are wrong entirely. And considering you guys are exclusive, that's cheating. So you're not in the wrong. You're not an asshole. Just, if she tries to get back in contact with you, drop her. I mean, block her, everything. She's not worth it. Okay, on to the last story I have. Okay. Am I the asshole for wanting to break up over this? Sorry if this post is a little long, but I genuinely just need to vent. I'm questioning a lot of stuff right now. My boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 22 female, have our anniversary coming up in a few weeks, which is also right around my birthday. Every year he combines both into one bigger gift, and I've always preferred that instead of getting two random smaller gifts. I want something I can actually use and that can last me a long time, or that at least has resale value if I decide I don't want it. And he knows this. Last year he got me a coffee machine that I use every single day, and it was the perfect gift. This year, all of a sudden, he decided to surprise me with tickets to Greece.
I volunteer as tribute.
And I was just so stunned, I didn't even know what to do or say. A bit of backstory, I've been to Greece already like 7 or 8 times. My parents were obsessed with traveling when I was a kid and took me everywhere with them. As soon as I was old enough to move out, I stopped traveling altogether because I genuinely dislike it. I think it's a waste of time. I'm always bored and uncomfortable wherever I go. It makes no sense to spend so much money on something and come back home with nothing. Like you're just burning up your savings on going to see a piece of land you could easily look up online, or spend absurd amounts of money just to sit on a beach and eat overpriced food when you have a perfectly good pool in your building and could easily order that same food for cheaper. Greece is especially unenjoyable for me since it's way too hot and crowded, none of the shops are good, and the food has too much seasoning. Of course, that's just my personal preference and the reasons why I don't want to go. He thinks he would enjoy it, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I told him I would be very happy for him if he went with a friend or family member and had a great time. But he insists on taking me and making it into this big anniversary trip. When I presented him with all the reasons I listed above, he started guilt tripping me and calling me shallow and spoiled, telling me I waste money on dumb things instead of making memories. But I genuinely hate traveling and I don't care if it makes me shallow. I'd rather get a new bag or another appliance or literally anything else for my birthday instead of going on a trip that he wanted. He grew up poor and never traveled. Now that he has money, he's so desperate to see the world and just assumes I want to go with him. If this was just a casual trip, I wouldn't have had this big of a reaction. But knowing that he splurged on this specifically for my birthday and the anniversary made me rethink a lot of stuff. This whole deal made me feel like he doesn't know me at all. Of course, I refused the tickets and told him to get a refund because I'm not going. He's been mad at me for the last few days and we barely talked. But I don't want to change my mind and apologize because I know the trip will be agonizing. I'm rethinking our whole relationship now because I can't believe how selfish he is. Am I the asshole for genuinely considering breaking up with him over this? So he's never been anywhere. He wants to go somewhere with you. And I get that it's your birthday, but it's also y'all's anniversary. The fact that he's making a big deal out of this, yes, he kind of was being a little manipulative there. But it seems like he really wants you to go. He wants to spend time with you. And it kind of sounds like he may be wanting to propose. And he thinks that Greece, maybe he's into Greek mythology or something. Maybe he thinks that Greece is going to be a beautiful place to propose. He doesn't know what it's like. He's never been there. And it's kind of selfish of you to say no when this is also y'all's anniversary. He could be planning something huge for you. I understand that you've been there so much. You hate it. You hate like the heat. You don't really like being around people. It sounds like you're kind of an introvert. But unfortunately, for you, he planned this big whole thing and was expecting you, his girlfriend, to want to join him and spend the time with him. So I understand that there's a disagreement, but he seems like he's really planning something big. Considering this may be his first really big trip that he really wanted you to go on, and it's your anniversary, it sounds like a proposal is coming. And you may want to apologize and rethink going on that trip if you would like to be with him for the rest of your life. But considering you're already thinking about dumping him just because he wanted you to go on a trip, just dump him. Like, don't waste his time anymore if that's what you really think. Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching and hearing my opinion. If you have your own stories, comment them below, or I will have my email that you can send them to right here. And I will go through them and maybe I'll read your story.